Assalamu alaikum
Ready when you
everyone.
are.
My name is Alina Batul. Today I am going to ask Maya about questions and she will give me answers. I am studying at Rehan School, Bharapur campus, Islamabad, and I am foundation level student. So Maya, my first question to you is, what does the word bye bye actually mean?
Walaikum assalam. Alina, it's great to be part of your recording. Bye bye is basically a casual, shortened version of goodbye. If you go way back, so goodbye actually started as a contraction of the phrase, God be with ye. Over time, we just chopped it down to bye, and doubling it into bye bye makes it sound softer, friendlier.
Thank you. Now tell me, where did the word bye originate from?
Like I mentioned, it actually evolved from the 16th century phrase, God be with ye. People just kept shortening it over the centuries from God be with ye to goodbye, then just bye, and eventually bye bye. It's a
Is
classic
bye
example of how language. Sorry, I didn't quite
Is
catch that.
bye bye just
Mhm.
a repetition or does it have a deeper meaning?
I'm assuming you mean bye bye, and yeah, it's mostly just a repetition. It doesn't have a separate linguistic root or a hidden meaning. Doubling the word is just a way to make the greeting sound more affectionate or playful. Something we often do with kids or people we're close to soften the blow of leaving.
Did goodbye have a religious meaning?
In this case, no, there isn't a hidden residual meaning. It's what linguists call reduplication. We do it
What is
to
the
change the
origin of the
emotion.
word goodbye? What is the origin of the word goodbye?
It comes from the 16th century phrase, God be with ye. Over time, it got squashed together and evolved into goodbye, blending the religious blessing with the word good, similar to how we say good morning.
Why do we shorten words like goodbye into bye?
It's mostly about efficiency. In everyday speech, we tend to take the path of least resistance, chopping off the parts we don't need to get the point across faster. It also makes the conversation feel more relaxed and casual compared to the formal goodbyes.
Was bye bye originally used by children?
Not originally, but it's definitely what it's mostly associated with now. Reduplication, doubling words, is a huge part of baby talk. So adults started using it with children to sound more soothing. Eventually, it just became a standard way for anyone to sound more affectionate or casual.
Is bye bye used differently in formal and informal situations?
Mm, definitely. Is almost exclusively informal. You'd use it with friends, family, or kids. Using it in a formal setting like a job interview or a business meeting would sound a bit too childish or overly casual. In those cases, you'd stick to goodbye or have a nice day. I can't believe it. Does it seem weird that something so common can feel out of place in a professional setting?
Now tell me, how did bye bye become popular worldwide?
Let me check on that. It really comes down to the global spread of the English language. Since English became such a dominant language for trade, travel, and media, its most common phrases traveled with it. Because bye bye is so simple and sounds similar in many different accents, it was easy for people all over the world to pick up and use, even if English wasn't their first language.
Do all languages have an equivalent of bye bye?
Let me check that for you. No worries, I'll be right here. Take your time.
Is every language have an equivalent of bye bye?
I'm checking on that. Yeah, almost every language has some version of a parting phrase. Most have a mix of formal and
What are some interesting ways to say goodbye in other cultures?
um let me see what I can find. There's some really cool ones. In Hawaii, aloha is used for both hello and goodbye, which is just a beautiful way to keep the same energy. In Arabic, ma'a as salama literally means go with. I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Could you say it again?
Why do people repeat words like bye bye instead of just saying bye?
It's mostly about the vibe. Doubling the word makes it sound softer and more affectionate. Something people do naturally with kids or people they really care about. No problem. I'm ready when you are. Just let me know when you've started the recording.
Is bye bye considered childish or cute?
It's usually seen as both because we use it so much with toddlers. It definitely has a cute or childish vibe to it. That's why most adults switch to just bye or goodbye in professional settings. They don't want to sound like they're talking to a baby.
Do adults use bye bye differently than children?
Yeah, they do. When kids say it, it's just how they learn to speak. But when adults use it, it's usually intentional, like they're trying to be extra sweet, playful, or comforting. An adult saying bye bye to a coworker would be weird, but saying it to a pet or a niece or nephew is totally normal.
How has the meaning of bye bye changed over time?
Let me look into that. It's mostly shifted from being a religious blessing to a social tool. It started as a way to wish someone divine protection during dangerous travels, but as it evolved into bye bye, it became less about safety and more about the emotional connection. Now it's
Can
more
bye
of a
bye
signal for
express
affection.
can bye bye express emotions beyond just living?
Definitely. Depending on the tone, it can be a lot of things. If it's said slowly, it can feel sad or reluctant, but it can also be dismissive, like bye bye use sarcastically when you're totally done with someone and just want them to leave.
Has the meaning of bye bye changed over time?
I'm guessing you're asking how the meaning of bye bye changed over time. Like I
Yes.
mentioned, it went from a serious religious blessing, literally wishing God's protection on someone, to this casual, soft expression we use mostly for people we love or children. It basically shifted from a prayer to a hug in word form.
How do tone and body language affect the meaning of bye bye?
They change everything. You say bye bye with a big smile and a wave, it's warm and sweet. But if you say it with a flat tone and no eye contact, it can feel cold or even rude. It's the difference between I'll
Okay.
miss you and I'm
Now
glad
tell
you're
me, why
leaving.
do people sometimes say bye multiple times at the end of a call?
It's usually because phone calls have that awkward silence right before you actually hang up. Saying bye 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 is like a way of filling that gap and confirming that both people are actually finished talking. It's a social signal that says, okay, we're definitely done now.
Can bye bye
It's one
express
of those.
emotions beyond just leaving?
Yeah, totally. Like I mentioned, it's all about the tone. It can be super affectionate and sweet, but it can also be incredibly dismissive. If someone says bye bye with a certain sharp edge to their voice, they aren't just leaving. They're basically telling you they're done with the conversation and don't really care to come back to it.
How do different cultures say goodbye politely?
Let me check that. It varies a lot. In Japan, they might say matane for something casual, which means see you later.
Why do goodbye sometimes feel emotional?
Because goodbyes are basically an acknowledgement of loss. Even if
What are some famous goodbye quotes in history? Can
let
you
me check
tell
on
me?
that.
Tell me goodbye quotes in the history.
That's a huge question. Life in history really depends on who you were and where you live, but generally, it was much more about survival and community than it is now. Everything moves slower, no phones, no instant travel. Your world was usually just your village or town, and your identity was tied to your
Thank
family and the
you.
land.
Now
It was
tell me,
harsher.
why do parents teach bye bye early to kids?
It's one of the easiest ways for kids to start communicating because it's a simple sound and it's uh, tied to a clear action like waving.
Does repetition make
Plus, it helps
words
them start
easier to
understanding the
remember?
concept of
Does repetition makes words easier to remember?
absolutely
Repetition.
repetition is basically a stronger
So
neural
Maya,
path.
my last question
That's
to
why kids
you
pick up bye
is
bye
my last question to you
fast. They
is
hear it every single
is bye bye universal
someone
in
leave.
baby talk? It's bye bye universal in daily talk, baby talk.
Exactly. It's like a universal bridge. It starts as baby talk because it's so easy to say, but it ends up becoming a daily habit for almost everyone because it's just so efficient and friendly. Go for it. You've got a great handle on this. Let me know
Thank
if
you
you
so
need me
much,
to
Maya,
repeat
for
anything
today's
or
session.
if you
Thank
want.
you so much, guys, for watching. This is my today's session with Maya. I hope you like it. Thank you and Allah Hafiz, Pakistan Zindabad.